Welcome to Cinema Sunday News! Blimey, this comes around quick, don't it? In today's news, we will be looking at those first look trailers for Indiana Jones 5, Guardians 3, and Transformers, whatever number they're on now. There's also another kid's character being made into a horror movie film, for fuck. A movie about a bear on cocaine, a Shrek spin-off that has a near-perfect Rotten Tomatoes score, and a new movie for Bob Odenkirk. So, jumping right in, we've got our first look at Guardians 3. I've put the link for it down in the description below if you haven't seen it already. The trailer starts off with humour you would expect from a Guardians movie, but then the rest of it changes vibe and it really does give the feel of this being the end for the team as we know it. This trailer seemed to confirm all the whispers and rumours we have been hearing about this movie, and James Gunn himself recently described this movie as heavy and incredibly emotional. This trailer showed a lot of the characters looking like they were feeling just that, particularly Rocket, as we know we are going to get a look into his backstory, and I warn you now, that's going to be a little bit of a tough one to watch and a bit of a tearjerker. This planet that they land on, which isn't Earth but something known as Counter-Earth, with human-animal hybrids, is a bit of a clue for you in what happened to Rocket. It's not all doom and gloom though. Gunn also said Volume 3 has a lot of the fun and the goofy stuff of Guardians, but stressed that it is the end of the story for this group of Guardians. We know it's the end of Marvel stuff for Gunn too, because he's heading off to go work for DC now. We also saw a quick glimpse of Adam Warlock's long-awaited MCU debut being played by Will Poulter. If you cast your mind back to Guardians 2, a certain group are looking for revenge on the Guardians and have created a new being to hunt them down.
When they see what I have created here, their wrath will dissipate.
It's a new type of birthing pod, man?
That, my child, is the next step in our evolution. More powerful, more beautiful, more capable of destroying the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think I shall call him Adam.
Now, another thing that's interesting here is this thing in his head. In the comics, this is the Soul Stone, but obviously we know that the stones have gone now in the MCU, so it'll be interesting to know what this is. Also, as expected, Gamora is back, and of course this is the Gamora variant that Endgame left us with, where she's from a timeline where the events of Guardians 1 never happened. This movie is covering so much, it's going to be packed with This movie is covering so much, well, it's going to be packed with plot, and we'll aim at wrapping things up for this trilogy, but we're also setting up things for the future and the cosmic side of the MCU going forward, in my opinion. I personally cannot wait, but you let me know what you think in the comments below. We also got that first trailer for Indiana Jones 5, or should I say Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Again, I've linked the trailer below. If you haven't seen it already, go check it out there. And a link to last week's Cinema Sunday News video where I covered the plot of the movie. Now, The Hollywood Reporter says the film employs de-aging technology, which, by the way, I thought looked freaking brilliant, for its opening sequence, which is reportedly set in 1944, about 8 years after the events of 1981's Raiders of the Lost Ark. After the sequence, the film's narrative will leap forward to 1969, with Ford as his current self for the bulk of the film's action. Maybe it's just me coming to my own conclusions, right? But what I took from this trailer the first time round I watched it was that maybe that there was going to be some artifact that de-ages Indiana Jones, and it's going to be the de-aging part is going to be part of the movie, of the plot of the movie. I thought Dial of Destiny was alluding to that too, you know, like turning back the dial. On second viewing, I don't think that theory really adds up, but I don't know, maybe I'm just being silly. I'd be really interested to hear what you think about this. Also, just want to shout out that we see John Rhys Davies back as Salah from the original. Love that guy, I'm glad he's back. I also really like this gag, because it's a callback to arguably my favourite Indiana Jones scene of all time. Ant-Man. Okay, so Marvel released a video called Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania official legacy trailer this week. The majority of the trailer is looking back at things we've already seen and Ant-Man's key moments in history in the MCU. However, towards the end of it, we do get to see some stuff from Quantumania that we haven't seen already. And I should say hear more than see, because the only really new thing here is more dialogue from Jonathan Majors' Kang the Conqueror, as it's him taunting and pretty much boasting to Scott Lang that he knows how everything happens throughout time in his universe.
I know it all.
Take a listen for yourself.
Scott Lang, your reality, everything you're holding on to, I know how it ends. Reality League Ant-Man?
I love it. He's basically telling Ant-Man that he's out of this depth, and I really think this is what this trailer is about. It's looking at everything Ant-Man has been able to do so far in the MCU and how he's beaten the odds. He isn't going to be able to do that this time, despite all of his other victories, because he's facing somebody who's way more than just one step ahead. He's a million miles ahead. We're not the only ones who are looking back at all of his past either. Kang has also seen all of this too. He knows everything. I feel like this also hints that we are maybe saying goodbye to Ant-Man, and it's kind of like a tribute message with a sort of get ready to remember him for what he has done. Once again, link in the trailer. Once again, link in the description below for not only the Ant-Man Legacy trailer, but also the original Ant-Man 3 trailer if you haven't seen that. Transformers is back! Woo! Yeah, I can't lie, I don't give a shit about this franchise. Like, not at all.
This can't be real. This can't be real. Oh, it's real.
For those who do, I am dedicated to giving all the news that I think you're going to want to know about, so listen up. To be honest, I thought this trailer looked really good actually. Seems like a mix between Transformers, Planet of the Apes and a Fast and Furious movie. People.com says, set in 1994, the film takes place in Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn! And will also travel to Peru. Rise of the Beasts will introduce 3 new robot tribes, Maximals, Predacons and Terracons. The existing battle on Earth between the Autobots and the Decepticons. It's a load of cons. I hope this bloody movie isn't going to be one again. Somebody who knows more about Transformers than I do, please tell me this guy is called Optimus Primal, because if he's not, that's just a seriously wasted opportunity. Oh wait, never mind, he actually is. Nice. So this is all based on the 90s cartoon Beast Wars. So if you remember that from when you're younger, you're going to want to check this movie out. In terms of where this is in the Transformers timeline, this takes place pretty much before everything except Bumblebee, which was set in 1987. Even if you're like me and you don't care for the Transformers movies, I would still check out the trailer for this movie. The music was great, the action seems really cool, and it comes across to me as a sort of soft reboot for the franchise, and the trailer genuinely made me want to go watch it. I think it could be a fun time. The link's below. Alright, so next up. Every week I have to come out here and talk about a kid's character which is again turning into a horror movie. And for the 3rd week in a row it's happened again. I've got the hat trick now. Like seriously, is it me?
Am I the drama?
I don't think I'm the drama.
Remember that story about Cindy you-know-who? When her Christmas was stolen, she knew what to do.
Why, Santa Claus? Why?
But what if I said that's not how it went down?
Why is Christmas so violent this year? Okay, so The Mean One is a horror version of The Grinch. Yeah, what else is there to say? You've seen the bulk of the trailer already. Oh, the Grinch, beating people up, killing people, he's evil. What more do you want? I always found The Grinch to be quite creepy anyway, to be honest. I consider the first one a bloody horror movie. But this is out on December the 9th, and I think it looks like it's going to be unintentionally funny, to be honest. Like, in that cheesy horror movie type way. I mean, I'll definitely be watching it. I've signed myself up for this shit. But I want it to be so bad that it's good, you know? And just pretend it's a sequel or something and set in the same world as the original Grinch movie. That would probably make it even funnier. You know what else is funny? A bear on cocaine. Cocaine Bear. That's right. That's the name of the movie. Cocaine Bear. It sounds like a bootleg of something or some YouTube animated series that everybody loved and found hilarious in college, but no, it's an actual name of a new movie. Move over, scary new Winnie the Pooh. There's a new killer bear in town. It's a bear that's after blow and blood. What more is there to say? Again, honestly. This is out in February next year, so be sure to put it high on your watch list. People barely watch it this far into the videos anyway. Oh, I can see why. Alright, so there's 2 news stories left to cover in this video, and I'm going to let you pick between Shrek and Bob Odenkirk. What are you going for? Shrek? Okay then. I mean, that probably worked for more than half of you, right? That means it's time for Puss in Boots. It's been over 10 years since the first Puss in Boots. It's been over 10 years since the first Puss in Boots solo film back in 2011. That one was a prequel to the Shrek films. This one is actually set after Shrek Forever After, with Puss retiring, at least at first, to become a domesticated cat when he realises that he's running out of his 9 lives. Everyone's favourite Pussy then goes on a journey to find the last wish to claw back. See what I did there? Stop making bad puns. This is why people stop watching. Well, he's trying to get back the 8 of his 9 lives that he's lost. So you may notice from the trailer how the animation style looks very different to the rest of the movies in the Shrek universe. I did do some research on this, and the Wikipedia page for the movie says, inspiration for the film's animation style came from Sony Pictures Animation's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, giving it a visual style that represents storybook illustrations. Rather than the more realistic style introduced in Shrek, the team focused more on a painterly, yeah, sure, style design to make the film look like a fairy tale world by using new technology. Puss in Boots: The Last Witch had a one-day public screening in theatres on November the 26th. It will then be released in theatres on December the 21st. Now, this one-day public screening, right? This has caused a bit of a frenzy, and I'm here to tell you why. I can only imagine it took critics by surprise because as it stands, this movie has a 93% Rotten Tomatoes score, making it the highest rated movie in the whole Shrek franchise. Now, take Rotten Tomatoes scores and any critics' reviews with as much grain of salt as you want. The only thing I think that really matters of any movie that you go and watch is how much it personally affects you and how much you personally enjoy it and your whole experience watching the movie. But naturally, when people are raving about this movie so much, it just makes you want to go see it more. So I'm definitely going to go check it out. Lastly, very short story. If you are a fan of Bob Odenkirk's 2021 action movie Nobody, I have good news for you. Producer Kelly McCormick was speaking to Collider about Violent Night and was asked about the potential for a Nobody 2 after the first movie was a critical and commercial success. She said, "We hope to make it next year, so fingers crossed." So our theory is that you don't need to make a good sequel just to make a sequel. We need to make a great sequel. Make sequels great again. So it's about making sure that we get it right. And if we do, I think there's a lot of hope that we can go next year. That's all for this week's Cinema Sunday News. Thank you as always for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see you next time with maybe some more videos in between as well. Once again, all the links to the movies that we spoke about are in the description below. And while you're down there, leave a like and a comment. I'd really appreciate it. And I love hearing your thoughts too. Peace!
Hey! If you're a fellow film fanatic and serial TV show binger, this is the place for you. Be sure to check out all of the videos I have here discussing the latest movies and shows and generally just having a good old time. I'd love to have you around, so make sure you click that subscribe button and that bell thingy to be notified of all future videos. Now stop watching this and go check out the videos.
What is it?
Mean one. He's slippery, he's elusive.
He's a menace to the entire city!